Hi, my name's Sean Lee-Davies, and this is Tycoon Talk, where I get to spend some downtime with the biggest names in business. This week, I'm meeting illustrious banker, race car driver, and helicopter pilot, Philip Ma. Hong Kong is one of the greatest business cities on the planet. It produces millionaires faster than anywhere else in the world, and making money is a favorite pastime. It's also getting harder, and the question is not just how to survive, but how to thrive. I've interviewed and photographed some of the biggest celebrities in the world in my time as a magazine editor, and successful people all seem to share similar traits. I'm on a quest to discover what drives a tycoon to rise above the rest. Not just to be rich, but to dominate an industry. I want to get behind the public facade and reveal their true personalities, as well as their secrets for extreme success. Hailing from one of Hong Kong's most renowned banking families, Philip Ma is a man who prefers living in the fast lane. A director of Tai Sang Bank, one of the few remaining family-run banks left in Hong Kong, Philip mixes the risk-averse life of a banker with the thrills and spills of motor racing and flying. I catch up with Philip at the bank's headquarters in Central. Tai Sang Bank is one of the few private banks still left in Hong Kong. What does the bank focus on?
It's a family business bank. Started with my father in the 1930s. It's a money exchange. In those days that people send money to China, we have some outlet in China in banking. That's how he started business. He came to Hong Kong, did the same thing. And then now we have a full license as a bank in Hong Kong. And we'll do normal banking, full license business.
And where's the growth for you here in Asia?
We always remain to be local and provide the best service. Our direction is not to become international banking.
So Tai Sang is very much a family-run business. Family-run businesses can be difficult at times, but they also have a lot of advantages over big corporate businesses. Can you talk a little bit more about family versus public companies?
I think a family business is, in a way, is a quicker decision, not too much red tape. To turn around is a quick decision too. I mean, but if it's a bad decision, it's quick to resolve it. If there's a good decision or something is a good project, and it's quick to get it rolling.
Do you think that if one day Tai Sang went public, then it would be a good thing?
After the Lehman Brothers in the '08, I don't think we're going to be in public for near future.
Philip went to Menlo College in California, where he graduated with a degree in business administration. He later returned to Hong Kong to work in the family bank. Did you always know that you were going to work in the bank when you grew up?
Yes, of course. I mean, my father was when you finish school, why didn't you come back and then help us?
Do you regret coming back?
No. I still go often back to California.
Did you start racing then in California?
No, actually, no.
Did you do any grease lightning, kind of drag racing?
No, not really. When I came back, I bought a car. Old one, a second hand, and I started to learn from there and joined the racing club Hong Kong, where they regularly have racing activity then in Southeast Asia, because then there's no racetrack in China. Only the main races, the big races, always in Macau end of the year. Yeah, so that's how I learn to race.
You learn how to race in Hong Kong. There can't be too many good racing roads here.
Well, you're not supposed to race in Hong Kong.
So it's quite an unusual development of passion. You went from, picking up your skills here on the roads of Hong Kong to now racing regularly on the GT3 circuit in Asia. And you yourself just came back from a race in Japan.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That's right.
What did your father think about your racing?
He thinks it's dangerous, but when I explained to him how safe it is in the circuit, relatively on the road, I think, well, it's okay. I mean, if you can afford it, why not?
So you funded it all yourself?
Well, I tried to fund it with some sponsorship, definitely, yes.
Because, of course, racing is really for the wealthy elite. It's very expensive.
Definitely, you need a bit of funding.
You invested quite a lot of money into Team Hong Kong. Was that personal money or was it?
There's some sponsorship and personal
Sponsorship,
money,
right.
definitely.
So it was around 2 million to start up Team Hong Kong, is that
Yeah,
correct?
something like that, yes.
How did Team Hong Kong do? And what was the drive to set up Team Hong Kong?
Well, actually, I want to do something in terms of the motorsport in Hong Kong, and that's how I started name Team Hong Kong Racing. And hopefully we can do some race in Le Mans, which is the place to go.
Did you make it to Le Mans?
No, because we are lack of funding. We did not well the first year, and second year, Asia Le Mans in Zhuhai, we came second, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that's right.
Yeah. And you were driving in that car?
Yeah, we're driving in that car.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
so, yeah.
So how much money do you need to go to Le Mans?
I mean, 10 million Hong Kong.
And a nice car.
Not a nice car, competitive car.
Do you think you're a better race car driver or a better businessman?
Well, at the moment, I think I'm a better race car driver than a businessman.
Have there been any dangerous moments in your race car driving career?
There's always a risk of accident, and how to minimize the risk is always the key issue.
What does your wife think about your racing?
When I dated her, we took a lesson in Silverstone circuit, and she's really impressed. She said, wow, it's much safer than driving on the road, so I think she's 100% approved at the moment.
Philip's wife is the glamorous former actress and Miss Hong Kong runner-up Winnie Chin. Winnie runs her own boutique furniture business and is active in supporting many charities in Hong Kong, such as Oxfam and UNICEF. Now, they have a Formula One in China, but Formula One hasn't been a real big success. Why do you think that is?
I think in China, they don't have the culture. It's not a long culture. The racing will develop, but not in terms of like a formula racing, more into a GT racing or touring car racing. I think that is more related to day-to-day what they are driving on the road.
Why can't we have a Formula One here like Singapore?
I think it's more of a government decision.
Do you think it would be a good thing to bring to Hong Kong?
Oh, definitely. I'm always fight for Formula One or race street circuit in Hong Kong as a great event, but
when you say fight, you mean you promote that idea to the government?
yeah, I talk to like the Hong Kong AA, and talk to government, and hopefully that they can do something about it.
If you weren't born into a banking family, do you think you would have done something else, or would you have gone into banking still?
I think I will do something else, definitely. Maybe I'll be a Zuckerberg.
A Zuckerberg? So you have a passion for technology?
Yes, actually, yeah.
So
I mean,
perhaps that's your dream, really, to become a sort of tech entrepreneur.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'll be a VC.
Venture cap, the guy giving the money.
That's right.
Great, great. Why aren't we seeing an Asian version of Mark Zuckerberg coming out of Hong Kong? Why can't we have people like yourself, who has access to a lot of funds, supporting young entrepreneurs and investing in new technologies here?
In terms of Hong Kong, is that they spend a lot of money in so-called hardware, building places, but they don't understand to build up a good software, that a good mind. So I think Hong Kong needs that, especially IT business nowadays. You don't need a place, basically. I mean, now you travel with an iPad or a laptop, and everything is on cloud. And to build up a business, you don't need to have a place, basically.
If you had your time again, not to say that you're that old, but if you were to do it again, what would you do differently?
Interesting.
Tough question.
Tough question. Yeah, that's right.
Stayed in California, perhaps?
Yeah, stay in California.
Become a professional race car driver?
Maybe. It'll be a good life, yeah. I think I would do something more passionate. Something that is that you like to do.
Finally, it's time to step out for a drive. On the way out, we stop by the safe deposit vault and the main banking hall. Little has changed since the heyday of family-owned banks in the 1970s, and the bank's interior is a piece of living Hong Kong history.
This is it's a 70s setup. In the
very old
70s,
school.
it's like this.
Yeah. When your father set up this bank, how long do you think he thought the bank would last for?
Forever.
Forever.
Yes, have to.
The Iron Bank.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
We leave the bank and head on up to the peak. Along the windy roads and tight corners, I experience some of Philip's cool-headed driving skills. He's precise, very focused, and careful not to break any speed limits. What would be your 3 tips for business success?
I think one thing, you need to have a dream. Secondly, I think you need to be passionate. When you're passionate of your business, I think it tends to be successful. But at the end of the day, you need to be patient.
Do you think that one day people will look back at you and as one of the pioneers of racing in Hong Kong and China?
Well, I cannot say that I'm the pioneer of racing, but of course I can say that I push a little bit of a motorsport in Hong Kong, and I'm proud of it, definitely.
When we come back, I talk to fellow gentleman race car driver Matthew Marsh. Plus, I get to experience Philip's other passion, flying. We also join actor and helicopter pilot Michael Wong at the Hong Kong Aviation Club for a flight around Hong Kong Harbour. Welcome back to Tycoon Talk, where I'm spending some downtime with banker, race car driver and helicopter pilot Philip Ma. We're on our way down from the peak to the Hong Kong Aviation Club, where Philip keeps his private helicopter. When you're driving, every second counts. Do you ever get scared?
Not really. I mean, you get practice, risk management.
Risk management? But surely there's another car
That's right.
coming close to you and you're going around a corner, he's trying to take the corner.
And then you have to be decisive on what you do.
So you're quite cool-headed on the racetrack.
I think it's come from experience.
Right.
When you have the unknown, then you have fear,
Right.
or you're scared. But if you manage all your unknown, and you know what you're doing,
Yeah.
it's not scary anymore.
You know Matthew Marsh, who is a fellow gentleman race car driver. How was it racing with him?
Very good driver, very experienced. He's been racing quite a long time in UK, I think. And, you know, he's a bit of a gentleman, definitely. Sometimes a bit aggressive, but I think, no, definitely he knows what he's doing.
Matthew Marsh is also an experienced driver, having raced in Asia for the past 10 years. I caught up with Matthew at the Sideways Racing Club in Central to test out my driving skills in a virtual race. Oh, off to a good start.
Damn, you were. That was a good start.
Yeah.
That was a good... Did you cheat?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm sorry, but the evidence suggests that you must have cheated because you're ahead of me. Yes, the only thing is that you must start it before the lights went out. I'm taking a shortcut. It's the only way to get ahead of Sean Lee-Davies.
Whoa!
Champion
Matthew
driver.
Marsh, that was not very gentlemanly of you.
It's tough on track, mate. It's tough on track. If I can make one comment, it is that you need to treat the race car as if it's a lady with which you're dancing, and don't tread on her toes, and don't scare her with these jerky movements like that. And everything has to be very gentle, progressive.
Is that why I'm winning?
The brake pedal and the throttle pedal are not binary. You know, you can apply pressure. You don't have to. Sorry, you could. That's my fault. Slightly misjudged the braking
Having a
point.
problem with your steps there? I thought I had the better of him on the track, but it was all too easy for Matthew in the end. Clearly, my real-life driving abilities need some sharpening. I then asked Matthew a few questions about Philip and their racing time together. How do you know Philip?
I can't remember when I first met him, but I guess it was one of the first days I stepped foot on a racetrack in Asia.
And you've actually raced with Philip?
Yeah, we've been in particular the Carrera Cup, which started in '03. I think he and I were both in that first race, and I think for about a 10-year period, he was in all of the races, I was in most of them. So we've been around the circus together, that's for sure.
Does he have a particular racing style that you can talk about?
What I love about Philip is that he's taken his wherewithal and his enthusiasm and passion for the sport and added it together to make more. He's gone out and he's racing all the time in all kinds of different races. Doesn't take himself too seriously, takes his racing seriously, not himself. And he's actually going out and doing good things with it.
It's quite unusual because he came back and basically learned how to race after graduating and coming back from California. And I guess he learned his skills on the streets of Hong Kong.
Well, I don't think that's true at all. Knowing Philip, he's a very sensible person, and certainly that's the case when you watch him race. And he's very much in control. That's one thing I do know about Philip, is that he's very much in control, and again, that's a good thing. And not every driver like him, a gentleman driver who, as you say, didn't do it as a career but came in after college and when he was a businessman already. When he was already driving a desk, he chose to drive a sports car.
Whenever I talk to Philip and I ask him these questions, he's always saying it's about risk management. So when I say, do you think race car driving is dangerous? He goes, it's all about risk management. Can you really think about risk management when you're driving a car at full pelt around a racetrack?
I think he's absolutely right to say risk management, to use risk management as an example. I think there's a great deal of similarity between business and driving a racing car. And one of the key things for me, certainly, as a driver who, not particularly talented, but managed to achieve a few things as I was older, was that I'd learnt in life to break down complex problems into their individual components and address each one individually.
But you almost have to do that instinctively without actually breaking it down as a list. If you break it down methodically, then you don't have time, surely.
But it's like anything that successful sports people do, it becomes a habit. And I think you do take it back, and what might take 3 seconds, you've thought about for 3 hours.
Do you think having a sport hobby, if you like, such as car racing, will make one a better businessman?
I'm not sure that being a good racing driver means that you can become a good business person. It is true that a lot of good and great racing drivers have been good business people. That's, I think, because intelligence is a key component to driving racing cars fast. So a lot of people who've been successful in both business and motorsport, or in another kind of activity in motorsport, have drawn parallels.
Now, you're also a helicopter pilot.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So where did you have a lot of expensive hobbies? This one sounds like a lot of fun. When did you pick up helicopter flying?
Actually, I learned it in California.
Again, California.
And, you know, in California, everybody have a pilot license. It's
Really?
just like a driver's license. Yeah, that's
Really?
Everybody flies. You know, there's nothing that, you know, unusual or prestige, you know. But yeah, it's just a common thing. I mean, in California, everybody just fly.
Is it hard getting your helicopter's license?
Not really. It's just time. Yeah, it's just like learning to drive first time, or learning to ride a bike. It's just time and patience.
We arrive at the Hong Kong Aviation Club, where we meet up with actor Michael Wong. Michael is also a seasoned helicopter pilot who, like Philip, flies his own Robinson R44 from the Aviation Club. Michael, Philip, thanks so much for spending some time with us. You're both keen helicopter pilots. Now, for most people in Hong Kong, that's out of their reach. Is it a privilege? Is it something you're lucky to be doing?
Well, I think it's not out of reach. I think that the people who acquire the enthusiasm or become an aviation enthusiast all share the same passion, and they'll find a way to make their dream come true.
What's the thrill of flying that makes you come back again and again?
It's just the dimension, the perspective, and the experience, basically.
I've had a lot of unique experiences with people that have this unusual reaction. I did a flying program, special day for handicapped individuals. There was one woman who, she wasn't born in a wheelchair. It happened later on in her life. So when we took off, by the time I got out over the end of the runway, heading towards downtown Central, and she saw the view, she actually started to cry. Somehow it was this experience of freedom that she didn't imagine that she'd have a chance to do something like this. When I get to share that passion with them, sometimes you will see these unique responses that happen. So to me, that's something spiritual happens.
Michael, you're an actor. Philip, you're a banker.
I thought he was a car racer.
And he's a car racer.
that's
I mean,
right.
I can't keep up with this guy.
That's right.
Well, I think banking is
Multitasking.
his second job, and car racing is his first.
You're both businessmen in your own right. Are there any similarities between, say, flying, controlling a helicopter to running a business? Does being a helicopter pilot make you a better businessman?
I think in a way it does, because you have total control. And whatever you do, you make a mistake, it's your own fault.
I'm glad I'm flying with you.
You know, I look at, and I agree with him, you know, we do have that responsibility, and it does create a leadership skill. But the other thing is the multitasking ability. So we've got, our mind is working on a lot of different subjects within the cockpit. And I think that has conditioned our thinking in a different way.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. I mean, that is something that is tough to learn when you start flying.
Great. Well, shall we go and have a try?
Yeah, sure.
Cannot wait. Come on, guys.
Good job.
And then we were off for a sortie around Hong Kong Island and the harbour. With excellent visibility and little air traffic, we were able to linger for a while and take in the true magnificence of the city from above.
Yeah, sorry about the radio. Bravo Kilo Charlie Alpha with flight 02 requesting missile contact.
Guys, that was an incredible trip. I think it's honestly one of the most memorable trips around Hong Kong. We had that beautiful turn out of the harbour. We turned right, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that's when we sort of got the reverse side of the island. You only really appreciate the city when you're above it, because Hong Kong's so crammed. When you're on the street level, it's hard to appreciate. But when you're above it, you realise just how dynamic a city it is.
Hong Kong probably has one of the most unique and dynamic skylines, and you feel the energy when you're flying over there. You just look down there and you think, wow.
Well, I thoroughly appreciate the opportunity, guys, and what a way to finish the episode. Thank you so much, Philip.
Thank you.
And thank you, Michael, for your expertise.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, would you do it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully one day I can join you in the skies.
Thank you. Yeah, you have to.
Philip Ma represents the last of a generation of family-owned banks in Hong Kong, but isn't content sitting behind his desk and clearly prefers being behind a wheel or up in the air. For Philip, being on the racetrack or piloting a helicopter is just another, if not more glamorous form of risk-taking.